Samsung, proud sponsor of Tech Busters.
Well, it's time to talk storage. You know, we're storing so much of our stuff and we're creating so much storage. And if you think about the average smartphone today, the average camera that you're doing your video and you're doing your photographs, there's a lot of memory that's been used up, but are you storing it properly? Joining us here is Kalvin Subaddu, who's the components manager for WD South Africa. Nice to have you with us this evening.
Thank you for having me.
Now, am I right in saying that as consumers, we are creating a lot more content than what we were last year? I mean, it seems to be increasing year on year on year going forward. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely increasing year on year and quarter on quarter. If we look at the need for data, the need to store more photos, the need to store more videos, your personal cloud, your personal storage increases over and over, and we've positioned ourselves to be in that forefront.
Now, Kalvin, we were talking about the personal cloud. When we talk about the personal cloud, we're talking about within your own confines, within your own home.
Correct.
And here we have a great product. I mean, you guys have released the 4 terabyte drives, which is enormous. I mean, 5 years ago, if you said, I'm going to get a 4 terabyte drive, people think you're crazy. But today, sometimes this is not even enough. These are magnificent and a bit pricey because it's the first product of its kind, but not as pricey as I thought they would be. But you're looking around the $2,500 mark. What's the performance like on these WD drives?
Well, these drives are specifically for NAS environments, right? So 1 to 5 bay NAS storage. We've really looked at compatibility on this and performance, reliability. So it's a combination of performance, power, and reliability in these drives, specifically designed for SOHO NAS environments.
So you'd essentially, I mean, have you guys kind of worked out how many of these you would need in an average home? I'm sure about 8 terabytes would be enough. Eh?
It depends on the storage that you require. I mean, we've seen that the need for 2 bay NAS enclosures has increased globally, and that's more positioned for your prosumers, consumers, so your home users. And if we look at two unit enclosures, 4 terabyte, that's 8 terabytes. It should be sufficient.
Now, for those viewers who, we're talking about NAS drives and all that sort of thing, basically what this does is it sits on your network at home. It plugs into your wireless router, and any device in the home can have access to it. You can download stuff from it. You can upload your data. You can save your data. You really are storing everything on these devices, and there's nothing worse than losing all your photographs and all your data and not having it stored. Because, people talk about Dropbox and those kind of alternatives like SkyDrive as an alternative, but that's good enough for documents and if you're on the go. But really big file, really serious stuff, you need something like this in your own home.
Correct. And the reason we've positioned these drives is part of what we call the power of choice. Which is we have different colors to suit every application: blue, green, black, and red. So this falls under that portfolio. And we've taken away the need for a consumer to use a desktop drive in a NAS environment. We've got a specific drive to be positioned in this environment.
Now, I know that there were, floods in Thailand. Thailand is one of the areas where these are really made. I'm not sure where this one is made, but I mean, they make quite a few of the components. And I remember there was a shortage. The prices of hard drives shot up. Has that recovered?
Yes, it has recovered in a certain way, and it helped us to see where the technology is going and the demand for hard drives. I mean, going back pre-flood, we understood that, listen, we can sell the hard drives. It was an important component of your lifestyle. Once post-flood, we realized without a hard drive, you're pretty much done. You don't have any data. You don't have a PC. You can't operate. Everybody uses some sort of hard drive space daily, and we've positioned and we've really evolved since the flood.
Now, Kalvin, where is it going? I mean, here we have 4 terabyte drives. What's up next? 8, 6?
Well, there's talk about 6. There's talk about 6.
And is that coming pretty soon?
Well, there's talk at this stage. We don't know when it will be released. But if you look at this hard drive, you have platters that forms inside there, and you can only put so many platters in there. And so there's different technologies and R&D in place to ensure that we can increase capacity, because your areal density is limited.
Yes, yes. Okay, so platters, eh?
Yeah.
You know, when you talk about platters, Toby thinks you're talking about catering
About
and, you know,
food.
yeah, food, exactly. You know, he got all excited.
Yeah.
Listen, Kalvin Subaddu, thank you so much for joining us on the
Thank
show
you.
this evening and explaining to us in NAS Storage and how important it is to actually store your stuff at home. And make sure you check this out. You know, it's not a bad investment when you've got so much technology and so much invested in your hard drives and computers at home. You know, this is a small amount to pay to have the right backup and the right storage facilities. And you know what? It'll save you from your tears and your anguish when you do lose that data. The Nintendo 2DS hit South African shores recently at a cheaper price than in Europe, which was quite interesting, mostly because we're such a good market for them and the uptake is fantastic in South Africa. So we decided to take a look at it, plus some of Nintendo's other console offerings. And we got the real experts into the studio to help us and tell us all about these new consoles.